back to Getting to the Top, the podcast where we interview transformational leaders about their leadership journey and find out from them about the things that they're working on and how they got to where they are and how they can inspire us to follow in their footsteps. So today I am delighted to be presenting Miss Angela Lee Loy. She's the chairman of Aegis Business Solutions Limited, the outsourcing and advisory services partner of Aegis and Company, external audit company, and chairman of the recruitment agencies Eve Anderson Recruitment Limited and Caribbean Resourcing Solutions Limited. She is non-executive director and chairman of the audit committees of public and private companies spanning banking, insurance, and hospitality industries. She is incredibly fun and just lovely, lovely, lovely person, and I'm delighted to be having this conversation with her today. Welcome, Miss Angela Lee Loy.
Hi, nice to meet you, Racquel.
So, truth be told, we've met on several occasions, but nice to be nice to be seeing you again.
We know each other. We know each
yes,
other.
Well, quite well. So tell us about what you're working on now and your role, and then we'll talk a little bit about your journey.
Well, actually, at this stage of my life, to be quite honest, I've been, as you know, very long in the profession. But they say as you get older, you can drop your age by 20 years. So it's getting younger every minute. But I really am more involved, to be quite honest, in my own organizations. I really am just a mentor. I mean, I have the people who could do the work. So as I say, they're the experts. I'm just a jack of all trades, but master of absolutely none. so it can run without me, which is a good part. Because I guess I'm at this stage in my life where while having no biological children of my own, I have nephews and nieces who are like my children. So as far as I'm concerned, those are my grandchildren. So what I've done is I carve out one day a week just to be with them. Nice. So no meetings. And I really look forward to that. So, that's it. But what I am doing right now, because the company can really run without me, I am really more involved in a lot more global things. So nice. I have been sort of looking at the energy sector, looking at real estate internationally. We've been talking about looking at clinical trials. And of course, I have my philanthropic work, which I am involved with. There's just always something to see or help, as the case might be, because I am involved in a couple of NGOs at the time. I mean, you just mentioned maybe one, but about 5 or 6 I'm involved in. So that's really where I would say my mind is at this point. The companies are doing all okay. But the truth is really having good people. That is really the trick. If you have good people, you can trust them. You don't have to look behind your shoulders to see what's going on. And in fact, having COVID, we are very virtual. It doesn't mean to say the office isn't open and people can come in, because there are some people that need to feel and touch people on a regular basis. And, because there's mental illness, which is, happens at this time. And also the other aspect of it is that also I need to go in and be seen and, just touch base with people, But it means, you can get up in the morning, start to work, no makeup, no nothing, no whatever, and just move through. No traffic.
So yes. what I love about, and having known you over a period of years and just being an absolute force in the industry, what I love about you, and you talked about having good people, but I'm wondering how much of it is having good people as much as the way that you empower people to become their best selves. And I mean, that's something that you are known for within your organization. That is something that your people say about you. When you're not in earshot, they talk about the fact that you have empowered them to be their best self. So how did you develop into that kind of leader?
Well, let me put it, a journey, it's always a journey. It's always a journey.
Yes.
So I'm going to start from when I was young. Mm-hmm. My parents never had expectations of us.
Really?
Never. No.
So what did they think you were going to become?
I don't think they think I was going to be anything. Just like I didn't think I was going to be anything.
You were going to be a wife.
No. Well, I mean, yes, that, I had expectations that I would have tons of children because all my brothers and sisters have, but somehow the Lord didn't give that to me. But he's given me a lot of lovely nephews and nieces. So I'm not missing out on that. But what I would say is a fundamental statement, Racquel, a simple thing like, just do your best. That's all I knew.
Okay.
And so we never had nobody in the family had any expectation that we had to be a lawyer, an accountant, an engineer, nothing. All right? Nothing. But we all just worked hard. I think that's fundamental.
Work ethic.
And I think it's really the work ethic. So in a way, I kind of grew up with that work ethic. So even when I was a trainee, I would be what I consider the best gopher there is around town. So I would have to make the coffee or the tea, get the pencils, sharpen them, get the paper. But you know, Racquel, just think, if you want a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and as soon as you arrive, that gopher brings that coffee and tea just the way you want it. I mean, come on. It's like it sets your day. A simple thing like that. It sets your day. And your paper is in front of you and your pencil sharpened. Now, you laugh at that. But let me tell you, that was the beginning of my success.
Really? Okay.
Because I got to go to like rooms where I really had to be the gopher. But I was such a great mako, as they would say. My ears cock up.
So for some of our international listeners, explain what is a mako.
Well, that means minding people business, minding what they're saying, okay? So basically, that's what I did. So I was in this room, which is a Massey, Neil and Massey at that time. It's a very big conglomerate. And I am the trainee that does, then I progressed to adding schedules. Then I progressed to doing conversion from Barbados to so you understand the progression. But it really started with just getting the coffee, the tea, the sharpening the pencils and so on.
Yes. So wherever you are, you can start to sort of craft your way forward in that environment. You can't you shouldn't be limited by where you are.
And what is interesting about it is they would be talking consolidation matters, like how you deal with that diluted earnings or the minority. And Lee Loy just listening. When I went to do my exam, I didn't need a textbook. I learned more in that room than any textbook could teach me. So this is why people have to understand. It doesn't matter where you are. It is how you perform. I mean, I have always worked as if a business was mine. If I see paper on the ground, I picking it up. If I see paper wasting, I taking it and put it. If I see dirty wares in the kitchen, I washing it. It don't really matter. You really become an all-rounder when you're able to do all of that. So, I mean, I give an example of something, I learned from someone, and it just shows you what attitude is. He used to sweep in front of the pavement of a school very, very clean. So somebody said, why are you spending so much time sweeping this pavement for the children, for the pavement to be so clean? And his answer was, so that the children's shoes shall not get dirty. That is attitude. You see where the guy is coming from?
Yeah.
And the sweeping is the ultimate. So what I would say,
and the pride that he's taking in the work that he's doing.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do in life, you know, is once you do it to the best of your ability. Yeah. So I would say that is what propelled me. Now, if you know Richard Young, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, Richard is senior to me, and I was a trainee. So one day I got to see something after I left Pricewaterhouse way after, and they pulled my file. They sent me, here's what Richard Young says. If we had any more trainees like this, we'd all be out of jobs. It is really attitude.
Yeah.
It is really just attitude more than anything else.
Yeah.
So yes, there was no expectation that I'll be anything.
Right.
Further, I was in a time when it was only men was in a campaign. So because of that, I never wore suits. I only wore dresses and all very pastel shade, light blue, light pink, light green, whatever. You can't mistake that I am female in supposedly a man's profession. Now, of course, the woman overtake it. But I'm just saying. So those are some of the things, you know, you just deal with things as they come.
But I think you have to have a fair amount of ambition, because I think that women tend to sometimes get stuck in roles where, you know, you're the gopher, but you're the eternal gopher, versus also being able to progress from that gopher state. So you have to sort of be willing to do whatever it takes to get forward, while also being sufficiently ambitious and having your eye on that prize. So you went from trainee. How did you move up and out of being a trainee into a more substantive role?
I will tell you, somehow being duncy, in my opinion, when I was in primary school. I used to call out when you come in tests, and I used to just don't want to hear my name because it's all the way down, like 20 something out of 30 kids. So you can imagine when I passed with St. Joseph Convent, I swear my results were switched with somebody else's. So, okay. So it's all about thinking that, you got to really apply yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And really, in the time when I studied, I was one of those that really passed exams all on first attempt with no school. Books coming down in brown paper and twine. And you have to teach yourself. All right. But the firm did send me away in my final and second to last part of London on an intensive one. They were sending me on 2 weeks. I said, oh, you have money to waste. They send me for 2 weeks. Then they got one for a month. I said, well, that sounds 100% better. So I went for that. And I passed. And in the time when I did pass, I was the only person in Trinidad that passed, and I never got any prizes. Now they give prizes for everything. So, que sera. But so the fact that I passed the exam every 6 months, I think propelled me from a theoretical point of view. That, I had my papers behind me and so on. And then I'll be honest with you, I am a hard worker. I will do whatever is required to get the work done. That's a trait I have. Right? I will do what is necessary. So of course, when you're young, you're working hard, and quite honestly, I think that propelled me into promotions.
Yes.
Okay. So that happened. So it didn't worry me that I was with men. I sort of like became one of them. In fact, when they offered me partnership, they told me 6 months ahead, and stupidly says, so soon, I'm not even looking for it. I just, because so much of man's world, you think, well, I guess I wasn't really edging up for it. And so, yes, so they offered it to me. So I go to my husband and I say, they offered me partnership, but really and truly, and I'm bound for it, I could do something else. So 6 months passed, and then they called me, the senior partner. Angela, we offered you partnership, but you haven't told us whether you want it.
Wow.
Run back to my husband. I say, they already asked me, what do you think we should do? Think I should take it? Don't really matter to me. He said, we're stupid. Of course you should take it. So that's how I took it. End of story. But let me tell you the joke. The men, remember it's only men,
Yeah.
And when their conversation sometimes does not go the way with a female present, you think it should go.
Right.
So I say, meaning kind of like change it. I would get a statement like, oh my God, Andrew, you're one of the guys. And of course, the conversation continues. So you just get so accustomed. So I am really very comfortable in a male environment because that's what I knew. That's what I grew up in. That's what I kind of think. And honestly, to God, I just do my best.
Yeah.
Without necessarily, and this is where you'll see I'm very unambitious, without a focus that I should get at.
Okay.
Honest.
So I found that a lot.
Very unambitious.
So I found that a lot of the women that I talk to in this program, and it is about, how do you get to the top of your industry? How do you get to the top of your role? How do you get to the top of your potential? And it has been a lot of sort of accidental success, which I don't know, it's kind of dismaying sometimes, because I feel like shouldn't we be pursuing greater heights? Shouldn't we be pursuing leadership? If we're thinking about having greater diversity at leadership, shouldn't we be pursuing it?
I would say to you, I don't think it is quite right to say, Racquel, the point that you said that we didn't do it. The truth is we performed, and in the performance, but I would say it isn't necessary that we went out for it, but the performance may have outstripped your colleagues to the point where you reach there. So that is something, right? However, the only way you would get there is if you had leadership qualities. You wouldn't get there if you didn't have leadership qualities.
Okay.
Let's put it down straight. To some people, it's a little more inherent than it is for other people.
Right.
What I think is maybe one of my strengths is the fact that I can inspire people.
Yes.
That
I agree.
That I would say.
Yes.
And I see that through my family, my workers, my friends.
Yes.
That, I'll be just talking. Oh my God, you just inspired me, and it's so unconscious.
Yes.
It's very unconscious.
Yes.
But you begin to realize that's a trait you have.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Right.
So focusing, honing in on your strengths then.
Right. So it comes out. And I'm a strong believer that your everyday conversations are powerful.
Yes.
Your everyday conversations are powerful.
Yes.
Even if I'm telling a story to a grandnephew or something, in the olden days, they say, oh God, Auntie, tell us more. It is because, you're passing down some of those rituals or those thinking from that era. Unless you tell the story, they wouldn't know.
So
right?
storytelling is important. And certainly enthusiasm, because you are like a walking might of enthusiasm, always just excitement. I've never seen you having a bad day. I'm sure like everybody else you must, but I've never seen it.
Well, let's put it this way. I always look on the bright side of things. I am one of those. I am an optimist. Believe me, I am an optimist, right? It's like my nephew when I was buying Eve Anderson, he says, why are you buying this? This is nonsense you're doing. And I said, well, you see, I see opportunities that you don't see. Now, I can laugh because it paid him. In addition to which, it just buy a car for him. So I have to laugh when you tell me why did I go into it.
So but tell us a little bit about Eve Anderson, the recruitment business. Tell us a little bit about that. And so you bought that company. You didn't start it.
No, I bought that. That company is now 52 years this year.
Wow.
Yes, I mean it was the founder of temporary recruiting. That is what it was. I saw the synergies. I do all the back office and everything. This is temporary recruiting. So if you come in and you need staff to do whatever, it could be a bus driver, it could be a mailing clerk, it could be anything. You want somebody for 1 day, a half or whatever, we can do it. So it was synergistic in terms of companies coming to me through Aegis, but needing that service. And then you may find that people come for that service, but they may need to be incorporated so it's synergistic.
They supported each other. Yeah.
They supported each other. And the truth is, I have a really good, excellent CEO in Maria Chongton. I don't really have to do nothing, right? That woman, she is amazing. Yes. Absolutely amazing. All right. So when you have good people with you, it really takes the stress out of running a business. You understand?
So true. So true.
So it gives you time to do so many other things. So I get a lot more time to do all the philanthropic, because I think at this stage of my life, the philanthropic part of it is what really excites me. How can you give back to your society and help and the underprivileged? I mean, as I always say to people, I'll never be rich. I'll be comfortable because it's what you do with money is important. Yeah. And it's no sense holding it, and then you see all sorts of things happening around you.
Yeah. So and you can't take it with you. So
exactly, you can't. And my point is, how do we develop leaders of tomorrow?
So tell me, what are your thoughts around that? How do we develop the leaders of tomorrow?
And like everything else, you only learn from things that happen to you. So one day I got some call from, I think it's ICAT, Institute Chartered Accountant, telling me about I'm getting this award. So I said, well, I'm really honored, but honestly, I would think of people before me that should get this. So then they said, oh, well, Mrs. Loy, there were the people, but you came on top of the list. So I said, well, curiosity kills the cat. What happened? Here it is. And this is a learning lesson. They said, well, Mrs. Loy, you're the only accountant we could think of that have a relationship with your contemporaries, with accountants that are older than you and accountants younger than you. I reflected on that. Well, my contemporaries are my contemporaries. They could come and get free advice, blah, blah, blah. But older accountants, their stories are amazing. The experience they have, you can learn so much from them.
So much, yes.
And the younger ones, they're innovative, they're creative, they're energetic. Oh my God, they add another dimension to you. So it don't matter to me what age you're at. There's always something I can learn from you. So when I learned that, I said, how can I use this to teach my people things? So this is what I tell them. I say, young people, you and your friends are the leaders of tomorrow. You see your older brothers, sisters, and their friends, they're the leaders before you. And your younger brothers, sisters, and their friends are after you. So you see when you're home and you're alignment with all your just remember, some of you are going to be the leaders. And that is really important. So another thing I also say to my people, your network is important. So it's this. If you are not, here's negative, if you are not networking, you are not working. But let's change that word networking. If you are not building relationships, because that's what network, you are not working. So change that word network to building relationships, because the ultimate and the fundamental of anything is relationships you have. I knock wood. Every day I get new work. Why? Not because I know everybody. It's because somebody know me or know of me.
Yes.
And that's how we come.
Okay.
So what I try to, whenever anything happens to me, I try to see how can I turn that around into a learning environment.
Yes.
I'm going to give you this other one, which I thought was a good thing to learn too, because and it's only when people reacted I realized it's something that I should share. I remember the chamber called me to chair a meeting, and I said to the person, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I have to refuse because I have enough on my plate, and I really don't go onto things just to be on it. I'm on, and that's it. Right. So I really have to refuse."
Yeah.
So the person calls me about a week and a half after. "Mrs. Loy, the board of the chamber wants to know if you've accepted the position." So I said, "My darling, nothing has come off my plate between a week and a half ago and now. So the answer is still no." So I said, "But I don't understand. This is a chamber. You have a lot of members. Surely.
Yes, you can find someone.
All and dottering like me, you should find somebody else." So I said to her, "My dear, there is nothing I personally can think of that I have done that is great. I really can't. No, and I'll tell you why. I say, and if you think it is great in the line of work that I do, remember, I was trained for it. So it's not great. But I will tell you what I have done. I have done a lot of little things well. So that when you roll it up into a bowl, it's huge. And you think, I have done something great." So the person says to me, "Oh, Mrs. Loy, I never thought of that." I say, "My darling, you are so much younger than me. Do you know how many little things you could do well? So by the time they're to roll your bloody bowl up, it's so much bigger than mine." and my point is, it's not anything fantastic you have to do. It's
it's the amalgamation of a lot of little things.
Correct. The thing is, when things happen to me that create to be something that I try to reflect. What is the lesson I can learn from this that I could pass on? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but it seems like there's a lot of self-reflection. There's a lot of
I do a lot
of sort of evaluating what's happening in the moment, and whenever anything happens, you kind of thinking about, what does this mean, and what can I learn from this? So a lot of learning as well. I like that.
Yep.
And a lot of seeing opportunities as well. So and being willing to say no, which is sometimes difficult, because when people are when you're well sought after, you're thinking, okay, well, let me just say yes to everything, and that's an easy way to get ineffective.
Very true.
Yeah. But also, I love that, looking both forward and backward, looking at learning from the people, who've gone ahead, as well as learning from the people who are coming up after you. And you're talking about the younger ones are enthusiastic. I'm like, who more enthusiastic than you?
Come on, let me tell you something. And the truth is, I am a baby boomer. Okay, people. Okay, that's where I am. I'm a baby boomer. But they say I could go 20 years younger, so I'm kind of like getting there. But the point is this, I think is important. I lead a lot of young people. You cannot lead young people if you have a closed mind. You have to have a very open mind. You have to think transformationally, right? Because that is what is going to bring the change and develop your organization. And particularly now when we're in the digital age, if you aren't digitalizing almost everything that you're possibly doing, you're going to be totally left behind. But it's also exciting to create an environment that is very digital. But one of the things I will share with you, the extent I will go to be relevant. It starts with, I have a grandnephew who's about 23 or 24. And when he was younger, I used to watch cartoons, but I never understood why he's laughing at something. And because, if you're older, the pitch of a cartoon is very high pitch.
Yes.
So the younger, whereas you and you're older and your ears kind of like deteriorating, getting. So what did I do? I went and listened to cartoons galore till I could pick up that pitch. So that when we are watching our show together, we're laughing at the same joke at the same time.
Wow.
What I'm trying to tell you, the extent I will go to be relevant.
So
when it came
so in that moment, having that experience, listening to those cartoons at the high pitch, when you haven't sort of trained your ear, are you enjoying it? Are you annoyed by it? Are you
No, because because once I am doing something with a child, I am looking at something through a child's mind, so that you get the full experience, right? Because you have to appreciate their time. So what I'm saying is, like, when everybody was on Facebook and I say, okay, people, it's like going for a glass of water. You don't fight it. That's the day.
Yeah.
So now I have grands that are 4 years and 1, and I'm always playing with them and whatever. Listen, I intend to understand how their brain think, because that's the next generation.
Yes.
We have to lead. So you understand, it's all about being excited to understand what comes with each generation, what makes them tick. How do you need to change? What do you need to be focusing on? Nobody, these young people, nobody want to work hard. They want to work smart. They want time for themselves. Yeah. Okay. And that's great. Yeah. That's great. So learn to do my work faster, get it done faster. I don't care. And enjoy. But you see, you have to create this stimulation.
Yes.
Now, I come from an era that I will do whatever needs to be done, the drudgery, whatever, but not young people today. So you have to understand.
No, they have to feel fulfilled. They have to enjoy the work. Exactly. They have to feel some sense of purpose.
Environment and stuff like that. Sustainability, helping. This is where they are, which is wonderful. There's a lot of hope for the future generation.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I love it. Angela, thank you so much. This has been a very, very fun conversation, but it's normally, it's so funny before COVID, BC, when I would see you out, I always gravitate towards you at an event because you are always so fun, and it's always hard to find you because you're so tiny, but once I find you, I know that I would have a good time for the rest of the evening because you're so energetic and always have these great stories. So it's been my great pleasure to have this time with you and to just have a chance to talk to you and learn from you. And I love that, you're transitioning, and I love how much you empower your people. I mean, more than anything else, I've always enjoyed spending time with you, but when you hear how your people talk about being led by you and how much you've inspired them and how much you allow them to show up as their best selves, it's inspiring. It really is.
Well, don't worry. We still get things wrong, I can assure you. But I think what is important is to be humble enough to say, I didn't get it right. Being vulnerable is also a part of it. I mean, my response time is 24 hours. So I say to my people, you got to help me help you. Mm-hmm. If you do not see a response from me within 24 hours, no, I missed it. So I will not get upset if you say, Mrs. Lee Loy, please remember. So, a gentle reminder is that. So I tell them, you don't have to be confrontational. It's an unconfrontational, the conversation you're going to have to me to get me into action to perform for you. So, it's really the quality of the conversation you have with people is going to develop your leaders.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it always is by example. It can never be, I say so, but do so. Yeah. It is do just what you see.
Lead by example and do just what you say. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. What a wonderful note for us to close on. Thank you so much, Angela. I hope to see you out in the real world sometime soon.
Indeed. Okay. Keep it right. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.